Hey, Vigilante Williamson here in the 37th episode of the Culture Crime Fighters. I'm joined by none other than my partner in Culture Crime Fighting, Matt from Foulball Productions. How you doing, man?
I am very well, sir. This is fun to be here as always. I love the Culture Crime Fighters.
Yeah.
Really fun. I did get a notification for today, so that counts for
Wow.
something. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's always nice when a notification happens because there's no guarantee that it will. So that's cool.
I get your notifications most of the time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like YouTube has paired us together and has equally been trying to silence the two of us because I lost like 6 subs over the weekend. Like,
oh man.
I guess 6 people independently decided to click unsubscribe.
Yeah, it's funny how they do that like every week.
So strange how they just keep doing that. And then it keeps going back up and then down and then back up and down. It's really weird.
Yeah, same thing happens to me. As I'm at like 660 or 659 or something right now.
Yes.
After being at like 665 a few days ago. And it's the 15th time that's happened.
So it will not. That is the cap.
Yeah.
That is the cap.
Yeah.
Anyway, outside of YouTube, this show is a podcast. This show is a podcast that goes on iTunes and Spotify, and you can catch it there. It's probably wise of us to diversify where we can be heard and seen and all that so that we don't have to rely on one single platform just in case there is some kind of deplatforming issue.
Yeah.
It's a bit suspicious, so make sure you check us out. We are bitching about YouTube again. Yes, sentient dildo. We can't help it. It is what it is. But make sure you guys go to iTunes and give us a 5-star review. Let us know. Let the people know that you love us, and then that'll push us up in the charts, and then we won't have to bitch about YouTube anymore because we'll be huge on iTunes, right, sentient dildo?
There you go. I almost worried that we're encouraging him to give us like a 1-star review. Like he's just gonna go there and say these guys are cunts. And it'll be sentient dildo.
Well, he should just do it with a 5-star. You know, you can insult us all you want. I don't care.
There you
just
go.
Give us 5 stars so that it pushes up in the iTunes algorithm.
There you go.
We had a big day the other day. I saw it. There was something like 16 views in a single day.
Hey, so maybe some of you guys are already on iTunes, and I appreciate it. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
3 downloads today. So that's something. All over the world. All over the world. Got people in
international
Brazil.
Superstars.
That's right. Got people in the Barbados. Remember, we're big in the Barbados.
Huge in the Barbados. We're like in the top 60 or whatever it was.
Yeah, I got San Antonio, Dallas, Atlanta, New York, Virginia, West Virginia, Spain, France, United Kingdom, Moscow, Bangladesh.
Wow. Bangladesh, Moscow. The Kremlin's listening to us.
Yeah, that's all real places. There's a map that shows you where your downloads are. Someone in Moscow actually likes us.
There you go.
Yeah.
Vladimir Putin, Culture Crime Fighters fans confirmed. Or it could be, is Snowden still in? I know the guy, CIA guy, he's still in Moscow,
know.
Right?
I have no idea.
There you go. Snowden loves us. Got to get him
Wookiee Supremacy says he is back on Twitter. I am still not.
Oh, man. Yeah. That sucks.
I was I was there and I was going to delete the tweet just today.
Yeah.
And I decided no. I decided I'm going to appeal again because the reason is I don't think they're correct. Mm-hmm. The tweet in question is you are a self-righteous pussy. There's nothing disrespectful about sexualizing a woman. Now, what I did realize is that whether Katie is mentioned in this, so it might come across like it was targeting Katie, and I didn't even mean to include her in that tweet. I wasn't directing it at her. I was directing it at him, at the guy who is a self-righteous pussy. And there is nothing wrong with sexualizing a woman. But the reason why I am holding the appeal line is because they said it's a discriminatory tweet. And that you can't treat
you sexist pig.
Yeah, well, you can't discriminate or be hateful on the grounds of sexuality, race, gender, disability, and I do not believe I'm doing that.
Yeah,
so
I don't think. Like, you can be any race, gender, or sexuality and be a pussy.
Yeah, there's no such thing as pussy Americans. Yeah. I mean, there are plenty, but they don't self-identify.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, well, I mean, some pretty much do self-identify as pussies because of the way they act. But yeah, man, that's bullshit. They fucking
Bullshit. Yeah, I don't even really care. I mean, I can browse all the topics without having an account. I don't need to tweet. The only thing is, it sucks I can't communicate with Pat S or Nina or something like that. That's really the only issue. But I could find another way around that.
Yeah, I mean, you're like, the communication thing is the only reason I have Twitter, because it's like there's usually nothing interesting. I actually did find a couple things that I kind of, we don't have to get too much into it because I'm not a politics like genius or anything. What the hell is this? Okay, I hit the wrong button. That's what the hell is.
Oh, okay.
No, I did see. Have you been paying attention at all to what's going on in Virginia with a recent election?
Well, I follow on Instagram. I follow a fair amount of political Instagram accounts like DC Drano and stuff like that, and PragerU. So they've been updating me about it. I don't consider myself like a Republican or really a conservative. I think right now their values are important. So I'm investigating them and hearing what they have to say. And with the kind of overhaul of our educational system and our country, what seems to be one hegemony of agenda, I have been paying more attention to who's in charge where.
Yeah. And honestly, with the Virginia thing, I followed a lot of the school stuff. I've covered and talked about a lot of the stuff going on with that school system, the incident with the dad whose kid was assaulted by somebody who was basically using the transgender rule to their advantage.
Oh, I didn't know about this story.
Oh, you didn't hear about that? So yeah, basically, the long and short of it is, as a dad, his daughter gets assaulted at school because of a kid who uses this bathroom rule, and apparently assaulted another student after that.
What do you mean by assaulted?
Sexually assaulted.
Attack? Oh.
Legitimately sexually assaulted.
And what age are we talking?
They're
high school?
14, 15. Yeah, high school.
Okay. So a guy went into the bathroom.
Girl's bathroom with a skirt.
But said, I'm trans, and then molested this chick or whatever.
Yes. And then apparently very recently did a similar thing.
Okay.
Similar thing happened. But when the guy goes up to the school board to complain about it, somebody there, Karen, basically was accusing him of being anti-trans. So the guy ended up, not only was he arrested at the school board meeting, yes, when he's looking into his daughter, it's on the channel. It's on it's one of the videos on the channel. I talk about it. Not only was he arrested, but they have this new thing where if you are hostile at a school board meeting, and this is brand new, you can be put on this FBI domestic terrorist watch list.
Now that I heard that, I knew that was news I'd heard, and I think that's why a big reason why the Virginia election went the way it did, where it's a Republican.
Yeah,
because people are like, what? Me being concerned about my children makes me a terrorist?
Yes.
It's gotten a little nuts. Attention to Matt doesn't watch your stuff, Fitch. I do watch some of it. I don't watch all of it.
To be fair, two things. One, I did get kind of spammy because I would talk shit about the quartering, and then I basically stole his gimmick. And then two, nobody watches all my stuff. Everything, that's a lot.
Sporking News stopping by.
Sporking News, radio. Stopping in and hit what you can stay, but back to the day job. We do need to stream. I haven't been on Yelling in Park Cars in forever, where I did used to stream with Sporking every now and again.
You can't do the evenings anymore.
Yeah, I can't.
Damn bad.
Yeah.
The other thing too is I talk to Vig 2 hours every week.
Yeah.
And at least a few hours on the cocktail lounge usually. Yeah, I will hear what he has to think about these things eventually.
Yeah.
I don't need to watch all the videos. I talk to him. He's my friend.
Yeah. That would be obsessive.
And I do watch the videos sometimes just to get your algorithm of booze. I try to give it a like as often as possible. So I do. I don't appreciate this criticism coming from Sentient Dildo right now. I don't like it.
Yeah. He's trying to
question my loyalty.
Yeah, he's trying to breed dissension in the Culture Crime Fighters.
Yes, he is. He's divisive like a commie.
Yeah. Speaking of the commies, well, the reason I even brought up the whole election thing, was some of the reaction on Twitter, because even though I don't use Twitter and I haven't really been specifically following the Virginia election like that, similar to you, I just see it in passing. There's a lot of people who are just interested, and basically Republicans won a lot of the elections, and so that's the gist of it.
Yeah,
But
what happened with the New Jersey one? Because I last I heard that was still on hold, and that would be a huge one if that went Republican. Not that it matters; it's the most corrupt state in the nation. But
yeah, well, they're competing with a lot. I'm not sure what happened with the New Jersey one. I am not sure with that, because I just saw so much. Let's see.
It looks like Philip Murphy, Democrat, is just eking out Jack Citarelli, but I don't think this is. It's 89% reported. That is a tight race. Wow.
Oh, so that's still down to the wire, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, so that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know anything about either candidate. I assume they're both scum because New Jersey is just the worst.
They probably are, and hey, that's probably the case with the Virginia thing. Like a lot of times, the conservatives can be lesser of two evils nowadays. But we just have so much insanity coming from the left. And like I said, so much of that, what I was describing, was coming from the left. So it's just like that antagonized a lot of people in Virginia and just all across the nation. You know what I mean? Who saw some of that craziness.
I think right now I do think it's a good thing, because at least, even if ultimately, it'll be the same old crap. Like, the right base right now is really onto this critical race theory issue, and I think if you have Republicans in there right now, they're probably going to fight against it, because it's the number one issue that's motivating right-wing voters.
Yeah, I mean, that was a huge. And in fact, let me actually show some of the tweets, because I'm interested in another phenomenon that's starting to happen along racial lines, right? So somebody, and I don't even know who these individuals are. It shows you how. I know Terry McCarthy was one of the candidates, but it says parents' voices will be heard, and Sherry Jacobs. No, parents aren't teachers, which they are. So of course you don't want parents to have the right to teach their kids or have any input on who teaches their kids, but you sure do have a lot of racists. So that's the thought process. Oh, Virginia went Republican.
She looks like a Fox News chick, that girl.
Right?
Doesn't she look like a Fox News anchor? I mean, I don't think she is because of what she's saying, but she looks like, one of those girls.
She does look like an anchor of some sort. So if anybody knows who Sherry Jacobus? Yeah. So, and there's a lot of this. Everyone's racist. It's clear there's not a willingness to confront the landscape of American politics. The VA race is not about education. It was about there's no ability to engage in the grim reality of an electorate of white voters and planning to embrace racial threats, right? These white racists. Education.
See, what's
this is
scary, though. Can you go back? Sorry. What's scary is that last woman looks like a politician. Like, just by that podium, like the fact that she's behind a podium and a microphone, like,
she probably is.
That is what's really concerning for me. Is like, obviously it's just politics. People are just talking, but it's like when the institutions themselves say these things, that's when it really gets concerning. That's when I'm really like, wow, this isn't just like radicals and fringe people. These are the people who decide policy. They wield legislative power. Like, it matters. It's very important. This isn't just the internet.
Yeah. And that's kind of critical race theory in and of itself is that to me. It's where it's like, oh no, this is no longer a Tumblr post. This is a teacher teaching children this now.
Yes.
And this person, I just looked them up. They're an NAACP lawyer.
Oh,
so they're not a politician. Okay. So
predictable then. I mean, that's pretty much what you'd expect from the NCAA.
Not
NCAA.
NCAA would be more useful, and they're corrupt as fuck themselves. But yeah,
basketballs.
Basketball player. But no, NAACP, which is so progressive, they have colored people still in their name. And it was ran by for the longest time by a white person posing as a black person.
Oh, that's right, Rachel Dolezal, right?
Yeah. So definitely the group I go to when it comes to blackness. This is speaking of blackness. Joy Reid, this is a quote. This is a quote on Twitter. If it's a fake quote, I apologize. But education is apparently a code for white parents teaching the idea, who don't like the idea about teaching race, which is not what critical race theory is. It's not teaching
Not
race; it's
teaching race
teaching
at all.
racism, basically.
Yeah.
But do you want to see one of the candidates, one of the faces of white supremacy?
Yes, I do.
Here you go. It's
Oh no.
the new lieutenant governor, who's a former Marine, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Apparently, you're never a former Marine. You're always a Marine. You're like a retired Marine or something. I know my dad always used to say that. Anyway.
Okay. Retired Marine. She has Semper Fi. She's the new lieutenant governor, the face of white supremacy, apparently.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah.
Like she's posing with her AR. Like,
yes.
She's like, I am not fucking around.
Yes.
I mean it.
But yeah, this is the thing that I found on Twitter that I found interesting. That was like, they are not gonna stop with this. Everything that I don't like is racist thing.
That's true.
And they're not.
And the more they do it, the more it waters it down. The more it weakens it.
Yeah. She's an agent of the patriarchy, clearly, since you do though.
Well, I sent you, I've been listening to a lot of them. I sent you an episode of Chrissy Mayer's podcast, but James Lindsay was on an episode. And I don't know if you ever listened to James Lindsay, but that guy is really worth checking out. Just as like a refresher for anyone watching, he's the guy who basically took passages out of Mein Kampf, and instead of like Jews, he would put like straight white men like in the passages or whatever, and then would submit it as not medical journals, but like, you know, the internal kind of journals that would be in the arts and sciences, like the kind of like racial like CRT training courses essentially in colleges, and they got passed. Wow. So yeah, like so he did that as like a kind of like a troll, but it ended up making him kind of like a Jordan Peterson-esque celebrity. And he is really sharp. He is really insightful to a lot of this. He understands. He's very well read, just like Peterson. He knows all the philosophy that inspired Marx and everything. Like he's really goes complex into it. And I've been listening to a lot of him, and I forgot what my point was.
Oh no. I remember you sending me. I have not listened to the whole thing, the James Lindsay thing.
It's definitely worth your time, dude. Smart guy, really like well versed, and you can hear like when he talks about it, it's like, I don't know, it'll come back to me if it has to.
Well, I mean, I started off talking about the fact that they're really pushing the
right thing. He was saying that what ends up happening, what you end up doing is whenever they say, oh, XYZ is racist, you're like, okay, we need to protect whatever that is.
Yeah.
Like he's like, you use it. It's like you use their barometer to figure out what actually we do need to keep around.
Because if they're attacking it, that means it must be important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's probably a good barometer. Not like as the term you just used. That is probably a good way of seeing what's going on, because it's like they are really going at everything. You know, we joke. Since you did was fucking with us earlier, but we are suppressed on this platform, man. You say the wrong thing, you get on the blacklist, and you say you being the monetized of the two of us. You said every stream you do basically is demonetized off rip, right?
Immediately, the second it goes up, pretty much almost immediately is it demonetized. And demonetized means that so there's ad suitabilities that you have to like qualify for, basically. If you curse too much, if you say the like things that like are kind of unpleasant for ads, they kind of tend to like, they don't want like a Huggies ad when I'm saying, fuck this bitch in the pussy. You know what I mean? Like they gotta kind of I do understand that to a degree. So I don't know, whenever I do it, it's just automatically you get like this yellow little dollar sign, and it says like there's your ad suitability, and then you can submit an appeal. But basically you're demonetized. Your stream's not making any money.
Yeah.
And it happens automatically every single time.
Yeah. So I mean there's something about them suppressing a lot, every voice they fucking can. And it's just ramping up, and it's getting like pretty wild. But that's an interesting take. Like, okay, if they're attacking it, that we need to go at it. And I guess New Discourses is James Lindsay's channel. So
yeah. And I think he means, I don't think he means like literally if they say it's racist, then we
Yeah.
automatically, but it's a great place to, start. Like, oh, okay, they're saying that. Let's start with, okay, probably that needs to be preserved. And let's, you know what I mean? Let's hold on to it. Obviously not blindly, but it's a good way to figure it, like to see where their plan is. You're like, oh, okay, that makes sense then.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, shit, they made hard work racist or white supremacy or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did. Showing up
so,
on time.
Showing up on time.
There's all
Nuclear
types
family.
of stuff. Yeah, all types of like just like hard work, like punctuality, like things that you're just like, what? That's white supremacy? It's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. Since you did it, we gotta protect white men at all costs. We don't have to protect white men. I just don't want to be called like a white supremacist because I don't want, like, if I had kids, I wouldn't want them to learn critical race theory, and it makes it white because of what critical race theory is. Now, I do think a lot of people just hear the term and don't even research it and just say, "Oh, you're against this. What's wrong with you?" That's how it works. That's why they name things to do the things they name them for that reason.
The biggest issue with all of it is that it's not presented as an idea or a philosophy. It's presented as the only way to look at it. And then you end up cooking these kids because in a school, right, you're looking for answers. You don't know anything about the world. These are authority figures. And when they tell you this is the way the world works, right, like, you believe it. And so it's a really tough thing to change your mind, especially when you've had ideas like sort of implanted when you're young like that. Yeah. And then, years later, it's like you see it like with the SJWs, like, no, like they don't even want to hear another another thought can't go in their head. It has to align with this. And I think that's why it's so dangerous, is because the way it's presented.
Yeah. And you brainwash these kids.
Yeah, you really do.
I mean, and then they don't know shit, basically. They don't know what's going on. They spend more time focusing on these, frivolous at best and harmful in most cases, BS, the SJW agenda, whether it's critical race theory or critical theory in general, more than they do on like actual relevant topics that they should be learning or relevant.
And they just see the world through that lens without a single exception. The entire world has been formed by a top-down white supremacy. You are a victim of it, and the only thing you can do to make it any better is to spend your life fighting it. That's how they indoctrinate people.
Yes. Yeah. You can be a community leader. It's like, no, you need to be an entrepreneur. You really,
whatever. You don't
really need to get out of this fucking desk. You know what I mean? Not in this school anymore. That's what you really need.
Yeah, that's what you really need to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that's why it's so dangerous, because I don't want the suppression of any ideas, even if they're ideas I firmly disagree with. But I think it's the discourse, the manner of the discourse that really matters. And like, if you posit things like, here's what I think, or here's a theory on why the world is the way it is, then you can kind of explore it. You can poke holes where you can. You can keep what's valid about it, and then you can like have a more complex worldview that's truly nuanced and probably more accurate. But that's you cannot question this stuff. I took sociology in college. You cannot question anything they say.
Yeah, and that's really dangerous. That's
Keely Chow, sorry, I just had a really funny comment.
Says the reason Gary doesn't start streams on time because he doesn't want to be labeled as a white supremacist.
That's funny.
Yeah, and I actually saw the Decepticon King. He says, "Told my 8-year-old boy never hit a girl." He says, I only hit them if they turned into a boy like a vampire. So I guess that's a reference to, I don't know how common that is at that school. So yeah, he laughs hard. That is kind of funny.
That's funny.
We'll see what happens with that going forward, since that's another thing they push on kids. Oh yeah, you might be transgender. You are. It's okay. And if you now in certain areas, I think in Canada, if you say that, if you're like 6 or 7 and you say you're transgender, your parents have to honor it. That sort of thing is a new thing too, as far as school. And then there's a lot of that, not just the critical race theory, but a lot of critical gender theory. Whether it's relative to, oh, you're a male, so that therefore you're oppressing all females. Oh, you're straight, well therefore you're oppressing all LGBTQ.
You would have loved it. There was something Lindsay said, and he blames the feminists for all this.
As well he should. It's 100% their fault.
Vidge would get a kick out of that.
The feminists need a lot of blame. That this is entirely their fault. As far as mainstreamifying a lot of this shit, because feminism is the reason this is a mainstream thing. Feminism was who platformed this at every corporation, not saying there were no white men involved. I'm sure there are, but it's mostly feminist white men. It's
the feminist philosophy, even if it's not the actual people. It's the way of thinking that really pioneered all this stuff.
Yeah, it was the I don't know if canary in the coal mine is the right thing, but it was the first thing in the door. Mm-hmm. It was the first thing in the door, and it's the first thing that became kind of normalized and common. Well, of course, you don't want to, and it's similar. Feminism isn't exactly what you think it is. I think a lot of people think, feminism just means equal rights between men and women. Like, no, that's not what it is. If that's what it started out as,
so they present
that's one thing. But that's not what it currently is. It's female supremacy at this point.
Ascension Dildo thinks it's our fault.
You know what?
He's right.
It is because we're fucking simps. We're like, I want some pussy. Okay, honey.
Well, I think a lot of what happens with this stuff is it catches you off guard. Like initially it catches you off guard because it doesn't align with the real world, but it has some bits of truth. So it's tough to navigate and debate, but then they don't debate you, they debate the person. Like they don't debate the topic, they debate the person, and they do like little nimble tricks till all of a sudden you're this like frothing at the mouth lunatic because you're like it fries you, and they're like, see, like, you know what I mean? Patriarchy. Like it's like that was their whole goal with so much of this stuff. I found myself in that trap so many times. It took me so long to learn to just not engage. But it's like, that's why I think it's so tough, because it's like you feel like there's this huge rift in between the two of you, and it throws you off guard because it's like it's not really the way the world is. You're conveniently leaving out a lot of facts that would dispel a lot of what you're saying, but it becomes it's very difficult to navigate. I think that's why a lot of it was able to take hold so quickly, is because you didn't really see it coming. You didn't quite know what was going on.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of the like. What's the right word? A lot of stuff sounds moral in theory until you actually see what they're saying, or just like I said, critical race theory sounds interesting. It doesn't sound like what it actually is. It's not critical. All it is just is definitive. This you are oppressor, you are oppressed, therefore XYZ. It's not like something that you can actually break apart. It's not something that you can use facts for. There's a few talking points that may include some statistics, and then that's what gets spammed.
Well, they trickle it out. They start off with something that sounds reasonable.
Yes.
And then you can give them concessions, even though it's probably kind of bullshit. But then they want more, and they want more, and then now they're entrenched in the institutions, and now it's not even a matter of like being able to give them or not give them. They're in control. They have all this power now. And it's like, oh shit! Like, what did we do? Like, who did we give all this power to? And the answer is communists. They infiltrated. They did it. They were successful. It's like shit. No, we really had to keep our eyes up for this one.
Yeah, and Hellkai MFS, he says, "Hey everyone," and he also says he had to start dealing with these bitches in 2015. Started attacking their intelligence and lack of facts and ability to debate. 2014, 2015 is where you start to see this shit in the wild. It's like,
well, there's the theory that after Occupy Wall Street, that's when they really started introducing all this identity politics stuff so heavily. That's the theory. Maybe. James Lindsay even backed that up, because I've heard that as like a meme and stuff before, and I was like, maybe not. But then when this guy says it, I'm like, okay. I mean, there's probably some weight to it. This guy's pretty smart.
Yeah.
Well read,
Yeah. You know what? I never thought of that, but it does seem like it was around that time, like right after the post, because Occupy Wall Street was like 2012, right?
Yeah.
2011,
2012.
Yeah, and then it really started from schools, because really what we see are the kids that graduated or started school from that generation on are the generation of kids who are now, teachers, teaching all this crazy shit. They're the wacky teachers of TikTok that we're seeing every day say some wacky shit about something woke that's like a normal thing now. Then
Well, it got to be the point where with the Occupy Wall Street stuff, it was we are the 99%. Right. So it became we're all united against like these people who have rigged this financial system in their favor. And then they started very nimbly dissecting all these crowds. It's like, okay, well, we are the 99%, but this is a trans black woman. You have to understand her life has been much harder than yours. So would you please sit back and listen while this person, and then it becomes like, and then divide. And now it's just it's a mess.
Yeah. Yeah. Bryce, they say you're showing your authority bias. Yeah, your white supremacy showing, man.
Oh, wow. Whoopsie.
There you go.
Snuck out.
Yeah. Can't help it.
My bad.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, and this is we've talked about
Pwn and
this
libs. That's what we do here.
Pwn and libs. Yeah. Own the libtards, no. But yeah, since that's kind of my main gripe with progressives. They measure the quality of their policies by their intent and not the real world success. They are so unconcerned with results.
Never stop saying that, by the way. Repeat that all day long. Just get it into other people's heads. Let that idea take root.
I'm actually of the opinion that in a lot of cases, they don't want real world success. They only want the ability to seem noble. And so if they keep having these good intentions, like, it's a good intention to teach to stop racism. That sounds good. It is. You don't want racist people. You don't want a country full of discrimination. And so they use that good intention to, this is in the name of anti-racism. This is in the name of XYZ. And then when if you see results to the contrary, it's like, nope, this is our intention, so we're going to keep doing it because that's what we intended to do. And it's like,
It's like the socialism meme. It's like, try socialism, system collapses, real socialism's never been tried. Try socialism, system collapses, real socialism. It's like, and it's just this like constant cycle, and they just don't ever want to connect the dots to the broken political philosophy. They just want to, but it feels correct, and that's more important.
Yeah. It's the meme was facts don't care about your feelings, but their feeling is the opposite. The feelings refuse to acknowledge your facts.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's really true. Work there. We killed, we crushed, we pwned them, right?
Pwned them libs.
Libs. Yeah. Well, so do you want the nice happy story, or do you want the more like social? Okay, let's do the nice happy story.
Let's be happy. Let's be happy for the people.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if it's nice and happy. It's interesting.
Okay.
Where are we? Boom. That should be. Oh no, that's the Twitter. Oh gosh. Golly. Well, I have an ad blocker up, and I'm trying. I can only pull up this article in incognito. It's so stupid. Anyway, NASA has successfully grown and harvested green peppers on the ISS, and one astronaut made tacos with them.
Holy shit. Let me see if I can just pull it up.
Okay. Daily Mail.
Okay.
It's a good, feely good story.
Yeah.
Some interesting progress.
We can do stuff now. We can actually accomplish things. We forget that, like, they're outside of all this culture war shit, they're like really smart people trying to figure shit out. So shout out to you guys. And I guess they have to prep us for when The Expanse is a documentary. We're growing stuff, in a different. Even though I still haven't seen The Expanse.
Good. It's good stuff. At least the first 3 seasons, anyway.
Yeah, they've successfully grown and harvested green peppers on the ISS, and like you said, an astronaut made tacos with them.
Brightest Day, by the way, just dropped a $3.33 tip to moi. Thank you, sir. And he says to keep up the fight. Right on, brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brightest Day. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
And if you're not subbed to Brightest Day, go over and check his channel out. He's always doing stuff.
Yeah.
Always banging out content.
Appreciate you. You said, I hope to hear more of this about Infinite Hope. We cover positive stories here, too.
Yeah, we do. Though. It's also like interesting. It matters too. You know what I mean? Like, I appreciate the nice positive stuff, but eventually you're just like, well, isn't that nice? And then there's really nowhere to go with it. You're just like, okay, that's sweet. Like, I don't mean to harp on the negative, but at least that motivates conversation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I try to, at least on a lot of solo podcasts, do like positive stories. That was the first thing I did on the channel. Was I was trying to talk about positive news, but all of it became like super political. Like a trans person walked across the street today. It's like, okay, good for them, but not really
I
impacting
saw the
society.
soy boy meme. Like, did you ever see like where it's got the smug face of the soy boy, and then the fake excited face where they go like that thing,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they had it was like thing, and then it was just the smug face, and it was like thing involving a black person. Like, as long as
yeah.
it's involved, and they're like, "Ooh, yay, a good story."
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
basically. But yeah, NASA has successfully grown chili peppers in space. I don't know how that worked. Um, I guess they must have been able to get a environment. Got
I
still
wonder if it's hydroponic. I
greenhouse.
imagine it probably is. It's probably the
It has to
easiest way
be.
to do it. I wonder, does that come with like parasites or like insects? You know what I mean? Would that automatically? I don't know.
Huh. Um, if you to read through it, it says, yeah, they announced Friday they grown first chili peppers in space. With astronauts on the International Space Station, and in turn, the fruit. Are peppers a fruit?
Got seeds on the
Do
inside.
I guess yeah, I kind of consider them a vegetable, but I guess that makes sense. Yeah. The U.S. Space Agency said
Yep.
peppers been
Fruit.
grown.
Get out of here.
Man,
Yeah, didn't know that.
that's like Pluto is not a planet. It's just one of those things that is just like mind blowing. I have to
That's
recover.
yeah.
Investigation involved microbial analysis to improve the understanding of plant microbe interactions in space, and a crew's assessment of flavor, texture, and nutrition of the first peppers grown in space. NASA said in a statement, these peppers have been grown on the ISS since July and were Espanola improved, chili grown in the famed Hatch Valley of New Mexico. So these are New Mexican chili peppers
That's pretty damn cool,
grown in
dude.
space. Yeah.
That is interesting.
Now, the thing I think about as a fat fuck, like, does this food impact, like, most food that is, like, genetically altered in any way has, like, some negative impact? Like, is it because there's space? Is there some nutrient that this would get that it doesn't, and now these things are, like, freak chili peppers or something like
Did
that?
it
Is there,
say it was not it was genetically modified?
um,
Because it
let me
doesn't
see.
necessarily. I mean, I don't think you need much more than like a nitrogen rich like kind of fertilizer,
Hmm.
water, and sunlight. And sunlight you can be manufactured, so you don't
Yeah,
necessarily need the sun. Although there's plenty of that in space.
yeah, yeah. Um,
But apparently, this is actually really important because they say in the future of space travel, having plants growing on a ship is actually going to be huge for oxygen recycling.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I just thought about like longer trips in space or something. Like if you're trying to get to Mars or trying to get somewhere further, be nice to grow food in case,
That's part of it as
But
well.
yeah,
But yeah, I
I
mean,
didn't
on the
think about the
expanse,
oxygen.
yeah, that's a big part of it. And on the expanse, they have all these like plants that scrub the air, kind of filter out the air and stuff like that. That's like part of it as well. Now, I imagine that's based on real science because so much of the stuff in the show is. But I have
Yeah,
read for sure that like that is going to be a big part of oxygen recycling is having fresh plants and hydroponically grown and all that type of stuff.
yeah. And real quick, I want to say hey to Fish Chozo and hey to Brandon. Let's go, Brandon, the anime
Let's go,
guy.
Brandon.
What's going on with your channel? Because he's had channel issues again. Go13, aka Brandon Infinite Wolf, aka Brandon the anime guy,
Oh, I
has
didn't
had
know he changed his. Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah. So he had his channel was taken down a few months ago for some unknown reason, and it got taken down again. And I'm
Really?
not sure. Yeah,
He's just talking about fucking anime.
yeah, and I guess it's gone. So maybe this is a new channel. That's
Get the
fucking
fuck out of
crazy.
here. That's
Yeah.
crazy, man. Yeah.
And speaking
Huh.
of space travel, promoting Kai MFS, whose book just turned about a year old, Space Crime Domino. He says
Well,
in his book, the ship has a hydroponics bay and tubes filled with algae that help produce and recycle air throughout the ship. Yeah,
oh, that's pretty cool.
yeah, yeah.
Right on.
So there you go.
So yeah, his main channel is dead. YouTube screwed me. Is that because you went with a no? It can't be like a character name. Like, I mean, It's a Gundam has a brand in his name, so that
Yeah,
doesn't.
it's a Gundam, and yeah,
That
that's
sucks, man.
that's pretty bullshit. So this is his alt account. We'll be making announcements later in the future. That
All
sucks,
right,
man.
yeah. Let us know. Let us know what's going on, man. If there's anything we can do to help, we'll do what we can.
Yeah, man. I mean, hey, if you want us to plug a new channel or something, we can definitely
For
do that.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Give him that
yeah,
culture crime fighters bump.
yeah. That infamous culture crimes fire bomb.
Infamous. It's YouTube wide.
Yeah, everyone knows. Everyone knows. You
Yeah.
go on the culture crime fires, you become a megastar.
That's right. So yeah. So anything more on the space plants?
Uh, See, I guess this is what you said about good news. Like, hey, space plants. Now what?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like okay. I mean, look, it is cool. It's very interesting. I don't have much more to go. I mean, I'm not that well versed on this particular topic, but I did think like when I first heard that, I was like, oh, that's interesting. What do you know about that?
Listen, I'm just glad while like the world is going to shit that there are people who are trying to figure out cool things. Like I'm just
Hmm.
glad that there are very smart people who are paying attention to like relevant stuff. And this is what I said, Brandon, plants in space. In space. I'm just glad that there are people who are doing shit like this. Because
Hmm.
who knows when we'll need this shit. Who knows? I want to get off of Earth, so I think the ability to grow plants in space is a relevant thing because I'm pretty much ready to get off this damn planet.
Well, I mean, yeah. I want to wait a little while till I think they perfect it. You know what I
We
mean? I
might
don't feel like they, I don't feel like they got it all figured out quite yet.
probably
You
don't. We
know.
might not have enough time, man. The world is going crazy. And Central Dildo says, yeah, space plants are cool and all, but how is it woke?
My brain really was actually going there a little bit when he was saying about, and I was like, yeah, there probably wouldn't be enough trans astronauts though, right? But I was like, shut up. I just let it go. I was like, I let that thought just pass on through.
Oh
But
man.
I did talk to a guy from SpaceX like
Hmm.
last year. He was at this wedding that I was working at in Los Angeles, and he was telling me that the plan is so fascinating. Like how they do, like Elon is so crazy about Mars. I haven't heard about that recently, but
Yeah.
he for a long time that was like his big focus is fucking Mars.
Yeah.
Get your ass to Mars. And so he would the plan was to just send like a constant convoy of supplies and stuff like that ahead of any astronauts who even show up, right?
Oh
So it's
wow.
so it's not even like you show up with astronauts like whatever you have, whatever. It's just no. There's like when you get there, there's already like years worth of supplies and all the stuff you need to like set up the camps and all that type of shit. And I was like,
Yeah.
damn, he's like really thought about this, and he also apparently solved the insulation issue, which is a huge problem. Apparently, if you're going to be in space for a very long period of time, radiation from the sun will kill you. It'll give you cancer
Yeah.
because there's no atmosphere filtering
Yeah.
out
No
the
ozone.
yeah. And so what I think they figured out like a water, like if you use like a water like insulation in between the walls or something like that,
Hmm.
that pretty much neutralizes it.
Oh wow.
It's like, bam,
Oh,
just solve one of the biggest problems. Like they used to say it had to be like concrete thick, and they're like, no, water works just as well. So yeah,
Jesus.
it's pretty
I
fascinating.
yeah, man. I don't know how relevant that'll be. Central Diddle says Elon just wants to go home. Like I said,
Him and Zuckerberg
him and Zuckerberg, yeah, they're just trying to get back to
go back.
their planet. Wouldn't it be funny if that was like the real origin? Like they're like some of these guys are aliens just trying to get back.
I mean,
Sure.
Zuckerberg is the strongest argument for this person's not a human.
Holy shit, man. I even played, there was a video of him being asked if he's a lizard person, and his reaction did not react like somebody who wasn't a lizard person. Let's
It
just
didn't
say that.
convince you? Is that what you're
No,
saying?
it was more. It would have been less. It would have been more convincing had he not brought it up. But then he looked off screen like he had to look for permission to how to answer that, and then he just said no. And I'm just like, I don't
Is
believe you at
that
all.
it's like why would that not? Why wouldn't you just laugh at the question?
Yes, he didn't He didn't come off like a natural person. Like most people, like, oh yeah, right, yeah. Most people would have answered, yes, I am a lizard person. We are taking over or it's something like some sort of troll joke. He took it like seriously and just had this fake like impersonating a human laughter, and it felt uncomfortable. Like, I think you are a lizard person, to be fair.
Did you ever see that Opie and Anthony video with Louis C.K. where he asked Donald Rumsfeld if he's a lizard?
No, I have not.
That really happened, dude. That's a real clip from back in our history.
Louis C.K. asked Donald Rumsfeld if he's a lizard person.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Over the phone, and wouldn't drop it, by the way, because Rumsfeld refused to acknowledge the question. Like, he wouldn't admit, he wouldn't. He's just like, and the way Louis did it, it was so elegant. It was like really sharp, and he was like, there are lots of people, like there's lots of evidence that this man is a good American. He's a patriot. He served his country for over 40 years or whatever. But there are some people out there that do think that Dick Cheney and Donald Rumsfeld eat human flesh and are lizards. Now, I don't know if anyone's ever asked you, Mr. Rumsfeld, but are you in fact a lizard? And dude, like, he goes into this story where you're like, what? That's not an answer? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he goes and says it. He went out there, out to dinner, and someone like bought his dinner. And it was like, what? No, he asked you if you're a lizard, dude. Like, you're going to ignore that? Like, and then he just kept going back and forth. And Louis eventually compiled the theory that he can't, if he denies it, he'll just automatically pop into a lizard. So he has to he can't say no. He just has to like bob and weave around it.
I actually have now found this. Do you want me to play part of it? Is that okay? Or
I mean, it's probably fine with me. I don't think there's any copyright issue for old Opie and Anthony stuff.
I mean, it's on my channel. I'm a little more whatever because I'm not monetized. But I mean, I don't know if there were other things you wanted to talk about. But
I don't care.
I have to find.
This is hilarious. This happened. I mean, this is a real thing that happened, like to a fucking historical figure.
Yeah.
What? Like, this is a real thing.
Because I have to hear this now.
Okay.
Interesting though, because there are people who think. I mean, here's a guy who, met Eisenhower as a congressman, right?
I was running for Congress, exactly.
And worked for Ford and Nixon and Reagan, and both Bushes. And there's still those people out there that think, Rumsfeld and Dick Cheney are actually lizards who, I mean, literally there's people that think they're lizards from outer space.
Yeah, that's true.
Who eat human flesh. I don't know if anybody's ever asked you directly, sir, but are you a lizard?
I don't think.
Are you actually? Can you just please give that a straight answer? Are you a lizard person?
Louis is a little left leaning.
No,
sir.
I'm not. Let him answer. Are you a lizard?
Here's the short answer. I'm in New York City. I walk down.
What is? Wait.
Shake hands. Stop me. They want to know.
I mean, the short answer is no.
Get a photograph.
That's the short answer is no.
Joyce and I were sitting
One word.
in a little restaurant. And
He's
a
not
man came up
answering.
and said he'd like to buy my dinner, and I
Yeah.
and it turns out I paid for my dinner. The next thing I know, the waiter comes back and said the man insisted to pay for your dinner, and here's your canceled receipt for paying.
Oh wow, that's
See, there's plenty of people that
But
you didn't answer the question.
he's
That was-
not going
I
to
think you're
dignify.
hanging around with the wrong people.
He's not going to dignify an answer to "Are you a lizard,
He
Louis?"
deflected.
Why not?
He
Just
deflected.
tell me no.
Just say
What
no.
does that worry about getting somebody paid for your dinner? I would pay
Because
for a lizard's dinner.
I
if
think I understood the fact that there are people out there that appreciate what he's done as a leader, and
There is plenty of evidence that this guy is a well-decorated and
Yes.
appreciated
Oh, my
American,
goodness.
a
and he has
patriot.
more credibility than almost anybody.
Exactly.
But I just want to know if he's a lizard.
He's not a lizard. Stop it. I want to
Let him
apologize,
answer.
Mr. Rumsfeld. Louis C.K. is a stand-up comedian, and I do not share his ideology one iota.
Matter of fact, we're meeting him for the first time. We don't even really know. him,
Yes.
so we apologize.
This is 15 minutes. I don't want to go through the whole.
Yeah. I mean, they're more entertaining than we are too. So
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
gonna
we
make
don't
them
wanna-
go watch old Opie and Anthony clips. And be like, fuck these guys.
They're much better. Bro, that's not the way anyone would answer. You would say no. You wouldn't go with this crazy story.
I think, I don't know. I mean, for a politician, right? Like, if you answer straight out, it's a story.
No, listen, you're going on Opie and Anthony. This is at the point that
That's
no
true.
one knows who Louis C.K. is.
But he's a
It's-
guy who needs to be sensitive about the type of press that goes out about him. You know what I mean? Like, he needs to control these situations.
Well, then don't go on Opie and Anthony then.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
a great fucking point. Don't do that.
Then don't. My thought is you're doing this to humanize yourself, right? You're going, and so when they ask you as a lizard person, you should. It would have been less creepy if he said, "Well, yes, of course I'm a lizard person. You guys got me." It would have been
Yeah.
like, "Oh, he's going on with the joke," instead of, "I'm going to tell a completely deflectionary story on the concept of whether or not I'm a lizard person."
Louis goes on to theorize that like inside his human costume, he hit the wrong button, and then that like speech about the whole thing like started going out, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And like he couldn't stop it. He just had to let the whole story go.
Man, I don't know. I don't know that Listen, I'm pretty conspiratorial. I don't believe in lizard people. I don't believe that they're like reptiles among us. I know it was a David Icke or David Icke.
Mm-hmm.
But man, this stuff like this almost is gonna change my mind because like it's like
Yo, we are gonna
something's
get thrown
creepy.
off this fucking platform before you finish that sentence.
Yeah, I don't know if Donald Rumsfeld is a lizard person. I'm not saying Donald Rumsfeld is a lizard person. I'm saying he gave the answer that a lizard person would give if asked that question. Like if you're a lizard person, you would deflect. You wouldn't answer directly. Because you're
Sorry,
a
I
lizard.
just got a fucking text about something I needed to like be aware of. So my mistake.
Okay. Oh, no worries. No worries.
All good. That's cool. Sensual Dildo says he doesn't need Mr. Rumfeld denies being a lizard in headlines. Do you see what I mean? Like, there is something like he can't really dignify this question. Like, he has to avoid it, even though I don't know. I mean, it might have been a headline. This was kind of before the press was so one side was 100% the way it is now. I don't know, because then like he goes on to, like Louis asks another question, and he goes, what would you like? He goes on to say something like, to protect America, like what would you be willing to give up? Like, let's say, we had to sacrifice France for America. Would you do that, sir? And he goes, could you imagine if I answered that question? Like,
yeah.
And he's got a good point. It's like, yeah, it can't be Rumsfeld wouldn't sacrifice France for America, and it can't be Rumsfeld would. He can't say that.
You can't answer that question. That's fair.
And so
fair.
I think the lizard one is just kind of the same sort of question. I don't know. I mean, or he is an actual lizard, and he absolutely cannot address this topic. I don't know.
I think it's his lizard past. He's like, oh man, I can't let the lizard out of the bag. I can't let the iguana out of the bag, so to speak.
I keep just repeating Louis' jokes, but they were so funny. But he goes on to say that he said he thinks if he does say he's not a lizard, he'll immediately turn into one. And then his human skin goes away, and they can never get rid of it. You can never get it back.
Oh, man.
It's so funny.
If you believe in lizard people, apparently there's a pig-human hybrid that got created?
I heard... No, I think that's a little bit misinterpreting the story. What I heard was that the first human, like a first kidney grown inside of a pig, like a genetically modified pig, was successfully transplanted into a human being, and that kidney started working immediately. That was the story that I heard, and I thought that was pretty fascinating, to be honest. It's a little science fiction-y, kind of dystopic, like a farm full of human kidneys, but we do need organs, so.
Yeah, but pig grown, I guess they're saying, no, it's a different story because in China,
Oh.
Jeez.
Oh. What? Pig-human
kinda...
hybrid? What are we, Island of Dr. Moreau?
No. I know this is breaking news. It's pig humans. They're pig people on Earth.
This reminds me of an episode of The Mighty Boosh where they had all those the half things. It's been a while since I can't quite reference it, but I can. It would be funny if I could, though. Just so you know, there potentially was a laugh there for everybody, just to clear it up.
Well, this looks like this is actually kind of an old thing, like from 2017. I hope. Okay. Oh God, this is let me.
What'd you find?
I keep seeing like images, and I hope they're not real because it looks disturbing. Oh God, even what we have is disturbing. Hold on, I'm on National Geographic. Let me see. I guess they created an embryo. I'm not sure. Was that? Where the hell is this thing? That was 2017. Where's my pig person?
I want my pig person.
Yeah, that motherfucker should be fully grown pig human. No.
Fully grown.
Yeah.
He's like playing football.
Yeah.
He's in marching band. You know, he's
no, people are saying it's a hoax, guys. Let's look at the Indian Express. I can't find.
There's a recent one, Fizz. You know what, Fizdro? If you could provide us with the article link.
Yeah, please toss a link because I would love to know. Or if there's a mod, since you Doodle, you have a mod.
Yeah.
Rent
You got
for
the
some
inside
goddamn
track
reason.
on this story.
Let us know.
Let us know.
We have to know about the pig humans. We don't want them to take. We already have AI taking us over. We have lizard people. We need to know if there's pig humans. Bebop
and Rocksteady. I was actually thinking about going as one of them for Halloween.
Oh yeah,
because I got the mohawk.
Yeah.
And I just need like the squarey sunglasses. But then you also need to do both. You can't just go as Rocksteady. You also have to have Bebop too.
Yeah, you do, because then it's like, oh, I'm Rocksteady. It's like, well, where's Bebop?
Where's Bebop? Oh, isn't the new Last Ronin come out recently?
I know the fourth one came out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't know when the fifth one comes out, and I actually need to get the fourth one.
Yeah, me too. I haven't read it yet. I have to catch back up on that. Yeah. Well, pig people. That's interesting.
Yeah, there's lizard. We have lizard people in politics, apparently, and confirmed. And that's a joke. That's confirmed. Please, YouTube, don't fuck with me. And
they're already fucking with you.
Yeah, and then pig people.
Pig people.
They will take us over.
Remember, did you ever see the crab people episode of South Park?
I have not.
Crab people. It was great.
No, I've not.
Just kept unraveling more and more conspiracy layers, and eventually they ended up with there's crab people running everything. It was really funny. Very on topic there, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, well.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
That's thunder.
Oh, geez.
In the middle of a big old storm here. Yeah, right in the middle. Ooh, my mom's flying in. Eee.
Oh, man. I hope Mama Foulball's okay.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah.
I want to think about that. Anywho.
Yeah.
The old Vic. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we can talk about that.
And we don't have to. If you got something else you want to,
No.
just reflect on your day. You know what I mean? You could just, what you've been watching, whatever.
No, I can't find the pig people. And so let's talk about the old Vic.
Wait, Vistro says search human pig baby 2021 with filters set to upload date.
Okay. Because I want my pig person now, damn it.
I mean, I don't know that I want to know this. There's all these just weird, like, dark arts.
Yeah.
How scientists grew muscles in pig embryos. Is that the one? Or is it like, did it just come out recently? Like, how recent did this come out? Also, I'm looking at horrifying images of pig people.
Yeah.
This is uncomfortable.
Those images are definitely nightmare fuel.
This is crazy.
Like, pure nightmare fuel.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Sheesh. I forgot to filter anything. Let me see. Filter. Let's go past year.
Because it's not the organ transplant. It's a different story. Are you guys?
I keep seeing organ transplant
on YouTube. Oh well, I mean that could be.
Could be fraudulent. Could be real. Who knows?
All right, let's see.
Okay.
Farmers give birth to.
Well, I won a prize from Google Chrome, so I can't wait for that virus to fuck my computer up. So that's great.
I mean, what is this? I don't know. There's no way to verify this. It's just someone uploaded a video.
Is it one of those like freaky nightmare fuel fucking videos?
It is. I don't need this.
Oh,
I don't need this in my life. Yeah, no, this is not.
Geez.
And there's no like article backing it up. It could just be special effects, man. This just could be,
Well, there is a
Ugh.
China funding this stuff analysis by Fox News. That's from 4 months ago. That's the most relevant thing. So they're working on it.
Let's just move on with this story. I don't want to go down this road.
The pig people are coming for you. They're coming for you, Matt.
Is it Sentient Dildo's birthday? He says, can we talk about something more important, like me turning 10 in dildo years? Celebrate my existence, stupid humans.
Oh, well, happy birthday, Sentient Dildo.
Yeah.
Not sure how
happy
dildo
birthday.
years work.
Way to
But
go.
you've made it. You're still here, despite your best
Blossomed
efforts.
into a full-grown double donger.
There you
That's
go.
great. Good stuff.
Yeah. Isn't it weird that we are completely normalized that we talk to somebody named Sentient Dildo on a regular basis? Like that's completely not a thing.
It's not even weird.
Not even weird now, right? Like
Yeah.
imagine telling someone else, yeah, my listener Sentient Dildo is like, huh? What? Yeah, he's great. He always has insight and stuff. He's funny. Like, okay, man. You're talking to a Sentient Dildo. All right.
For a long time, we would kind of laugh at it, but now he's just around so long that you're just like, all right, yeah, it's Sentient Dildo.
Ah,
Here's
it
what
was
it is.
yesterday. Well, happy belated birthday then.
Yeah, happy belated birthday, bruh. Good stuff.
You made it. You made it. You're still here. So happy birthday. For more years of dildoness.
Yes, lots of man-ass pleasure is going to be delivered by Sentient Dildo. And you know what? He's doing a service to the community, and we're grateful.
Yeah.
We're grateful.
Somebody's got to
I'm not
do it.
personally grateful, but all the men in Croatia who you will service will be very, very grateful.
Shout out to the Croatian LGBTQ community. We appreciate Sentient Dildo's contribution to your people.
Yes, you're very needed. So
Yeah.
So story. All right. So this just came out about in the comics today, and it says Old Vic Theater cancels production by Monty Python star Terry Gilliam over his support of Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. That's
Pretty interesting.
pretty crazy. I mean, it's one of those things that's in my head, I don't want this to be normalized where I'm like, oh, well, duh, everything's leftist, and he said something's not leftist, so duh, he gets banned. It's like, no. We technically still live in a world of free speech, and he didn't, supporting Dave Chappelle shouldn't be seen as some scarlet letter to your career, right? And they scarlet letter people so often.
Yep.
That it kind of goes in one ear and out the other. You know what I mean? We saw Gina get fired. We saw all this stuff. But this has to stop at some point. You know what I mean? Because this is kind of ridiculous.
I mean, I honestly wouldn't even have known that Terry Gilliam had an opinion on this unless this story came up.
Yeah. I wouldn't have either.
So, by their own, whatever their goals are, whatever their actual, this is actually just promoting, making it a story where it wouldn't be. I wouldn't know what Terry Gilliam thinks about Dave Chappelle. If you just carried on with the show, most people in the audience wouldn't know what he thought about Dave Chappelle. He would just do his show. But now that you made it a big deal, it's just going to fuel the opposing views. You're not helping your cause.
Yeah. They always hurt their cause with shit like this. I don't know if they realize that. And Fizz, that's pure nightmare fuel. Yeah, I'm not playing that.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good on that whole thing. Thank you for your pig baby contribution to the show, but I'm actually good on that whole topic. You know what? Leave that for someone else who can handle it. I can't. Neither can Vig. We're just gonna bitch about woke stuff. How about that?
Yeah, is the pig baby woke?
Oh, is there a pig baby human rights lobby?
There you go.
Do they have their own hashtag yet?
Pig
That's
babies
my
are
concern.
oppressed.
I want to know how they're going to be well represented in media.
There you go.
Otherwise,
the oppression of the pig people.
Yeah, human supremacy.
There you go.
Pig baby lives matter.
Yeah, Melissa McCarthy does okay though, but Tiss.
That's a good point.
She didn't do anything to me.
No, I always actually I've always found her to be relatively harmless.
Yeah, she's like the female Kevin James. She's fine.
Yeah, just kind of big, fat, funny person. Like, doesn't do anything that I care about. Like, yeah, the Ghostbusters thing, but that wasn't her fault. She just took a job.
Yeah, I mean, she hasn't attacked me. I shouldn't have attacked her. It was just there.
No, that's fine. That's funny. Whatever. That was a good joke. Don't apologize. Don't apologize. Okay. London's historic Old Vic Theatre has abruptly canceled a production of the Stephen Sondheim musical Into the Woods, helmed by actor and director Terry Gilliam, after venue staff voiced venue staff. This is what is going on in the world right now. The staff has more say over what show gets played than the producers, than like the market or the audience. Like, just some people at the theater were like, "Meh, I don't like that he said that," and then boom, canceled. Voiced their displeasure with Monty Python's Legends' recent recommendation of Dave Chappelle's new Netflix special, The Closer.
This is crazy, and you're right. It is always staff. Hell, this whole Closer thing, Netflix staff. It's the staff. And I have a mixed feeling about that, because we are in a staffing crisis. You can get into all the reasons why that may be. We've done enough politics today. But we do have a situation where, like, I mean, I know a lot of this stuff happened before we got into the situation, but we are in a situation to where it's like, shit, you kind of have to listen to them. Like, even something like the Fight for 15, you know, maybe a few years ago, you probably like, oh, man, I'm not giving $15 to work at McDonald's, and then like there's no McDonald's open. Like, oh shit, I guess they are going to get $15 because there is a certain amount of, like, as much as we hate it, like, if you do kind of have to bend the knee to your staff nowadays, because there's no guarantee you can just fire them and replace them.
Yeah, but all those places are automating everything that they do. Like, they're not just going to take fucking 20% loss. They're just not going to do it. They're going to figure out more efficient, especially a place like McDonald's, where it's built on efficiency. Like, they're just going to figure out a new efficient way. And if you go, I haven't been inside like a McDonald's like lobby since I don't know, about a while. But like even like a few years ago, they had like automated kiosks, and I'll tell you what, the customer service improved pretty significantly.
Yeah, because you don't have to deal with anyone. You just order your food on the screen, and it's there.
Absolutely, and that's a pretty miserable job. So most of the people who are there are pretty miserable. If they're even kind of polite to you, it's like, wow, this is special. So it's like, all right, yeah, I don't have to interact with someone who hates their life and hates their job. I get my food as fast. I don't care personally as a consumer. And then you ultimately, you just destroyed your own job.
Yeah, but I think, like, at the same time, like, certain, like, maybe I'm thinking of other fast food places that aren't McDonald's that are like closed. My beloved Zaxby's, that they're never open anymore because no one wants to fucking work at Zaxby's. Which, I mean, I get it. But I guess my thought is, and you know, you guys are right. You know, the ushers, like, who the fuck cares about them,
right?
But like, if this staff, I mean,
I don't know. Let's hear more about the story.
That's how I feel. Yeah. How about that?
Let's just hear more about exactly what went down, because it's like maybe staff is like, you know, the people who run the
That's
whole
my
venue.
thought. Like, who are staff? That's very important.
So Gilliam voices supported Chappelle's latest work on October 14th, taking to his Facebook page to tell his fans and followers, "I'm encouraging you all to watch Dave Chappelle's new show, The Closer, on Netflix. To me, he's the greatest stand-up comedian alive today, incredibly intelligent, socially aware, dangerously provocative, and gut-wrenchingly funny," Terry Gilliam explained. See, that, you know what concerns me, though, is funny was the last thing he mentioned, which is like, shouldn't funny be the first thing?
And you know something, that's probably why I still have not seen The Closer, because I do politics now, not for a living, but for like the main thing I do. So that's like, I genuinely want the least political shit I can possibly find when I'm not on YouTube. Like I don't want to hear the smartest. I do listen to some stuff, but it's just like, I don't really want to see.
I just want it separate. If I want to go listen to James Lindsay,
separate,
I want
equal.
to listen to
Segregation.
him.
There you go.
I don't want to see a movie that James Lindsay's political theories are in there. That's not what I want. I want entertainment. When I want to be entertained, I want to be entertained. When I want to be intellectually stimulated, I want to be. But I don't want this blurring of the lines and everything is activism and everything is fuck that. Sometimes I don't want to fight. Sometimes I just want to enjoy myself. Can you hold on one second? I got to take this call. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All
Yeah. All right. I guess it's just a cultural crime fighter. Hope everything's good in the Foulball household. And damn it, I do not have access to move. Well, actually, I could change that. Let me share my screen so I can move the screen. Not share audio. And there's me. So now I can control it. So we can talk about it. I can talk about it while Matt is working with that file call. The close is fine, but far from his best work. That's what I kind of expected. I didn't, Matt, he's talked about how much he likes Sticks and Stones. Hell, Ironcaster. Long time no see. I remember when you were a baby Ironcaster. Now you're full grown and in college and experimenting. And it's like, oh man, how's Ironcaster doing? It's been a while. And I've been talking about the damn Brave and the Bold. I haven't done it in a while. And man, I need to do it again. And the Wolverine Snicket has to head out. Have a great day. Have a great day, Wolverine. Hopefully your healing powers still work. So shout out to Wolverine Snicket. He's checking out, and as Ironcast checks in. So yeah, I hope Ironcast is good. Pretty cool. But yeah, like so when Matt talks about Sticks and Stones, I like Sticks and Stones, but I didn't like my favorite Dave Chappelle is the old Dave Chappelle. Because there was a world where everything didn't matter. Politics didn't have to come a part of everything. Everything was not about politics. And I enjoy entertainment that's less politically inclined. I don't necessarily need entertainment that agrees with me politically or disagrees with me politically. I just want entertainment that entertains me. And Ironcaster is surviving. Glad you're surviving, man. Glad you're surviving this crazy world we're living in. Jesus, dildo. Just use you up and back in your drawer. That is the life of a dildo, cinch it or not, unfortunately. But man, why do we live in a world that if you dislike the wrong, or if you like or dislike the wrong things, that your livelihood could be messed up? I mean, when you look at this, you look at this tweet that Terry Gilliam posts. Oh, you're back. Cool. But all I was doing was talking about the tweet. He's just encouraging people to watch Dave's show for discussion. He says, I love to hear your opinions. He's just like, hey, you guys should check this out. This is pretty cool. I wonder what you think of it. And he's losing a job because of it. I mean, he'll be okay. He'll survive, but that's insane that's being normalized.
Now, a lot of this stuff, you don't know if maybe, I mean, I doubt it, but it's potentially possible that maybe tickets weren't selling, or this musical was going to be way too expensive for what they were hoping, like what kind of a return they can get. Because this is England, and their COVID restrictions are a lot more strict than a lot of cities in this country, and that's London. So I wonder if they're like, you know what, let's just use this as an excuse. Oh, look how progressive we are, and then save ourselves, the $50 million or whatever it's going to cost to put this thing on, because musicals are pricey.
They are pricey. That's an interesting angle. Yeah. Not only are they pricey, they're pretty like cutthroat on whether or not they even happen or not. Because of that, because the people who pay for these things do not want to lose their money. It's a business. It's completely a business.
Yeah, 100% a business, and you deal with some really powerful unions that are expensive.
Yeah, and Essential Dildo advice. Yes, Gilliam, of course, is expensive. Yeah, I'm sure this was not whatever this was.
Yeah, Gilliam always goes all out.
This was not a cheap thing. I didn't even think of that angle. Yeah. That could very well be the case.
They do that shit a lot too, and it's a convenient excuse. No one's gonna question it, although it's gonna make. But it's not like I'm gonna protest the old Vic forever now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's a venue, like it's cunty, but like, what's the negative repercussion for them?
Yeah. Basically, that's a very good point. If this was a different COVID situation where this thing, whatever he's doing on the old Vic, was something that's incredibly popular, incredibly high selling, I don't even know if this is a story. Yeah. Because maybe it's like, oh no, we're getting money, everything's going good. He does like Dave Chappelle, whatever. And this is a theory. I know what you're saying. Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't have any facts to support that. It's really just an idea.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Though brief and encouraging of debate. Jesus.
Uh-oh.
What the hell was that? Is that my cat? Luke, what are you doing? Though brief and encouraging of debate between both supporters and critics of Chappelle. That is a really strangely worded sentence.
Yeah.
Gilliam's innocuous comments sparked backlash amongst Old Vic's staff, which in turn led to the cancellation of his upcoming production. In a brief statement that sidestepped the actual explanation for the show's cancellation, the Old Vic Theater news outlet, The Stage, ahead of any season announcement, senior management at the Old Vic would meet with the directors who are programmed to work in the season as a matter of course to discuss our culture and values. Ugh. That sounds horrible. This happened with the co-directors of Into the Woods, Terry Gilliam and Leah Hausman.
Huh.
Oh, that's a very, very tough statement to really interpret. It just says, okay, we're having a meeting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Upset staff members also reportedly took issue with Gilliam's past criticisms of #MeToo movement, which he has described as a witch hunt in which there are a lot of people, decent people, or mildly irritating people who were getting hammered.
Yeah. And not only that, the Me Too movement was like proven to be like not a hoax, but like a kind of a grift. Like most of that money did not go towards anything that they were purporting. It went towards like trips and shit. Like that's not a.
And a lot of the stories, I think, like once they were kind of reinvestigated, were not necessarily as smoking gun as they had appeared, as much as they had sounded. Like some of them were, and some of them weren't. Like it was stuff like I don't know. I don't know the details. I don't want to like kind of get into that because I don't really know too much. But I've heard like Metzger kind of critique it, and like he seems to know a lot about the actual details, and like he's not like he's a comic. Like you know what I mean. If he thought it was, you know what I mean. There's no reason for him to lie.
Yeah, and like I said, the actual movement itself, the Time's Up movement, that money did not go. It went to the people who were running the movement. And real quick on the noise, Essential Dildo seems to think it's your dildos. It said that Matt's dildos are finally rebelling. Give them hell, brethren. I'm not sure if that's the case.
I don't know. It sounded like a bunch of dishes just fell over in my kitchen.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is that about?
I'm like, oh man, Foulball did not Epstein himself. He was,
No, I didn't.
So,
Did not. All right. So I hate Harvey, the actor told the UK news outlet The Independent in January 2020. I had to work with him, and I know the abuse, but I don't want people saying that all men, because of the 91 film Fisher King, 2 producers were women. One was a really good producer, and the other was an erotic bitch. It wasn't about their sex. It was about the position of power and how people use it.
I agree with this.
Concur. Based as book. Notably, the Old Vic found itself in the center of its own Me Too controversy. Aha, the plot thickens. They don't want any lenses getting too close to them.
Yeah, Kevin Spacey was there.
Oh, he was
a big
artistic
theater
director.
He's done because he was a big theater guy. Even when he was an actor, he would do his stage stuff because that was his kind of gimmick.
He was there for almost 15 years as the artistic director. That doesn't look good. So that means that they probably did cover up a lot of shit over the years.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say
pretty reasonable to conclude. Anyone I know who worked with Kevin Spacey, all it was just like, oh yeah, he's gonna hit on you. Yeah. Like I know a guy directly who was a friend of mine. Haven't spoken to him in a few years, but we were pretty close for a while. And he was working on what's that show?
House of Cards.
Yeah, and was like, yeah, if you were there, he would like you, is what he said.
Oh man.
Yeah, like he said nothing happened with him. He said he was very respectful, very professional with him, but he's like, it does sound like it wasn't like a secret that he was very like aggressive with men and such. So I would assume if this one actor who worked with him on that show knew these details about him, his employer, or his
12,
artistic director,
years,
probably had some pretty good insight.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did.
And also, hey, that doesn't mean anything went down. Sleeping with adults that's fine. That's legal. That's consenting adults is not a bad thing. But it does sound like he's convicted, right?
Was he convicted?
Oh no, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. But he's very blacklisted now. He's very
he wasn't convicted, but he didn't deny the allegations from the guy who was like 14 or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That guy who was
the
in
guy who's
Reeds.
14. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he
That was
denies
bad.
allegations. And actually,
That one was really bad.
since you're moving yours, because I actually, oops, what the hell?
Oh.
There you go. So now that's your screen, because when you went off, I added my screen.
Oh, my bad. All to the
This
good.
caused confusing. So yeah,
All
go ahead.
good. Eventually, we are going to have a producer for this show.
Yes.
We're not. It's like I'm really starting to feel it's more and more necessary, like especially with like the audio volume and the audio levels and stuff, and like sharing articles and like Googling live on the air.
Yes. We need what's the guy from Rogan? Like
Jamie.
Jamie. We need Jamie.
Yeah, it comes
Jamie,
in handy.
look that up.
Yeah, pull it up, Jamie.
Pull it up, Jamie.
Yeah. All right. Though Gilliam himself could not be reached for comment, John Barry, whose production company Scenario 2 holds the rights for Into the Woods, told UK news outlet The Times that his team was, quote, focusing on finding a new home for this show. These things happen, he admitted. It's not the first change of plan for a West End show or the last. Current times everywhere are unpredictable. However, in a brief bit of optimism, Barry then promised fans that the designs and vision for the show is vintage Gilliam. So that's a little salesmanship there.
I think that's it.
That's interesting. Yeah, what do you make of this cancellation?
Man, your angle of this could be a financial thing is very interesting. Like this could be totally unrelated to this, and they're just spinning it. I would love to this is why we needed Jamie. If we could okay, what are the old VIX productions doing? Like how often are they getting canceled? What is the success rate of them recently, post-pandemic, basically? How has that affected them? Because I would definitely be interested in exploring that angle, that this is a faux cancellation. Like they're using that as an excuse to kind of get brownie points amongst their own, but it's really like, hey, we're not selling enough tickets because we can't.
That could be it, but I would definitely not overlook the angle that someone in that theater complex is guilty of a Me Too kind of thing, and they're like, listen, you either cancel this show or I go public.
Could be, yeah. Because I can't imagine, like you said, if Kevin Spacey has that type of reputation, and he was there 12 years, there's something happened. You know what I mean?
It would seem reasonable to me.
Yeah, and I mean, shit.
No, but yeah,
it's just the entertainment industry is. I just realized Fish Chozo. Kevin Spacey as the booty warrior said, "Are we gonna do this the easy way or the hard way?" I like you, and I want you. You ever see the Boondocks?
I've seen some episodes. I need to go back and watch it because I was
booty warrior,
fucking blown away by the nature of that show. I could not believe how critical they were of the black community, and I was just like, wow, they are really going into it.
Yeah,
I was getting nervous.
Like, am I a white supremacist for enjoying this?
I was just like, did they know this is out there? Like,
they know this on TV.
Yeah, I think Adult Swim might get burned down.
Yeah, they would now. I don't think they allow the Boondocks now. I don't even know. I've heard it's kind of hard to find.
No, it's actually on HBO Max. Is
it?
Unless they changed it. It was. I think it was HBO Max or Hulu.
Okay. Cool.
But they did take down like a few episodes, remember?
Yeah, I do remember episodes getting taken down.
Yeah.
And APM was over in England. Hail APM.
APM. He's probably got the inside scoop on something like the story.
Because he's involved in the entertainment sphere a little bit over there. Says Kevin Spacey. This is the incident that kind of sparked everything. Kevin Spacey denied assaulting Anthony Rapp when the Star Trek Discovery actor was underage. The 49-year-old actor claimed in October 2017 that the former House of Cards star made unwanted sexual advances towards him after inviting him to a party when he was just 14. But in new court documents, Mr. Spacey has insisted his accuser wasn't even present at the party when the alleged incident occurred. So that's the official story from Kevin Spacey. Thank you, APM.
Okay.
For being our Jamie for a minute.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That's the thing about so much of this shit. It's really just he said, she said, or he said, he said. But like, you know, and they don't. This whole movement was predicated on no investigations. Like if it's said, it's therefore it happened.
Yeah, that's what made it a witch hunt. Mm-hmm. To Gilliam's point, it is a witch hunt.
Yeah, 100%.
And it was used as a witch hunt and as a means of extortion. which
Yeah.
totally undermined any potential positive impact it could have had or did have.
Yeah.
Anything, because I do believe there's an abuse situation in the entertainment industry. Hell, they made
There
Matt
is.
a table. I
That-
mean,
well,
shit.
I did that voluntarily.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's okay, man. It's okay. No, just
But I mean, talk to any girl who spent any time in Hollywood. They will tell you that, yeah, it's like not even necessarily just abuse, but like they traffic in sex. Like that's how you open doors. Is you know what I mean? You sleep with someone. Like that's how you get to know people in that town. Like it's so much driven by sex. So the like it's built around that. So. Yeah, I mean, there are lots of power things, but that's not gonna. I mean, it might change. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm so out of touch with it now because I haven't been there for a while now. So because all the pandemic stuff, I'm like, I don't even know anymore, which is probably okay. I'm fine with not being on the pulse of what's happening inside Hollywood. It's a pretty exhausting place.
It's probably for the best. And APM just clarifying, he wasn't defending him, just checking on what the deal was. Yeah, he is slimy.
Yeah.
But it's good to have what officially, what the official statements of everything is.
Yeah, and it sounds like, I mean, I don't know what the investigation process is, but that's a pretty lofty accusation there, and I would think you would follow it up with criminal charges if it was sustainable, right?
Yeah, that's what you would think. And then on Matt, you couldn't give consent because of power dynamics, bro.
That's a good
Don't
point.
you know?
I mean, there actually is something to that. It's like I got the job, so you have to take it. Like you don't have to, but you get so rarely get any work that you're like, okay, and I mean, it's something. It's on TV. It's a credit. It's a booking.
Yeah.
It's there is something to that for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of people doing some stuff that they're not comfortable with because they don't really have any kind of. You don't really have a choice if you want to build a career inside that town.
Yeah, that's the thing in the entertainment industry in general. It's like, well, so many people want to be here, so if you don't do this, then we're gonna have to go with someone else, and they will, and they will, so you do whatever it is.
Bro, there are literal industries built around the flood of people coming to LA to like, and they exploit their dreams.
Yeah.
Like I've talked about this. There's the casting director workshops where basically you're paying to meet someone who can potentially hire you. Like they frame it in a way where you're doing auditions and stuff like that, but really you're just paying for access because they are the people who call in actors and you need to know them, and it's very difficult to get to know them if you're not an established actor. So they concoct this entire system where, thousands of dollars change hands all the time because you don't know any better and you have to try to meet these casting directors and they know that, so they're exploiting it. That's just one angle.
Yeah. I know a lot of that was in the music industry, still is. It was like, oh, you want someone to know who you are. Well, you want exposure. You have to pay, or they had these showcases. You got to pay to be a part of the showcase, and then you got to try to sell tickets and all this other stuff just to get in the room with someone who may help you. And it's like, that thing is just kind of a part of the entertainment industry because everybody wants that. Everybody wants to be the famous. Everybody wants to be an actor. Everyone wants to be a celebrity. So there's enough people to field where you can make a cottage industry off people's attempts.
Yeah, they don't need. There's no need. There's no call for actors. No one needs actors. Certain things will become trendy. Like for instance, now it's diversity. So yeah, like if you're like a young black woman, just go to Hollywood and you'll get a job. Like just show up, say hi, and they're like, oh, right this way, like because there's not enough to fill all the quotas that they need. So it gets to and that's. But other than that, they don't need actors. There's so many, and there's so much nepotism, and like, oh, you're a producer on a show. Your friend's kid wants to get on a show. You're gonna start with that.
Yeah.
You're not gonna go to the guy from Idaho with a theater arts degree and no credits. It's just not gonna happen. And if it does, it's a fucking miracle, like you won the lottery.
Yeah. Shit. APM says he's no 20-something straight actors who slept with both men and older women for parts.
Happens all the time.
Yeah.
It's like it's the dynamic. I don't know anyone personally. Like I don't know anyone who's like, yeah, I slept with this person and then ended up on this show. But like I've heard stories like Mitzi Shore, like at the Comedy Store, would kind of like, you know, if you slept with her, you got better spots. Like, you know, I've just heard that as conjecture from like other, you know, comics and stuff. But like,
Did you slide in the DMs? It's a joke.
Mitzi Shore. No, I mean, I need material first.
I see.
I can't just get spots and be like, oh, now I need to start writing. You got to build an act. Then you sleep with the older woman.
There you go.
Yeah, but I've never even got close enough to be offered anything. So it's not like the doors were never even open. You know, I never even got past like the first line, you know, like there's all these, you know, like if this is like the center of Hollywood, right? Like, and this is where like Brad Pitt and all these people like hang out. And then there's like, you know, television stars and then television supporting. And then, you know, like I was still like looking in from the outside, you know what I mean? Just peering over the wall. Like, how do you get over this wall? Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know who Mitzi Shore was. So she actually passed. She was in her 80s.
Yeah, she died recently, yeah.
Oh, man.
Still pretty beloved. So even if she was sleeping with comics for time, like it doesn't sound like people were like, fuck her. Like I think she's well respected and well liked in the LA comedy scene.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, especially run the Comedy Store. So that's like the most iconic comedy club probably on earth.
Yeah, that of the Comedy Cellar.
Yeah, it's got to be one of.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that sucks though, man. And I know it's been like that for a while. I'm not new, you know, that's not news to anyone, but it really does suck that that's how the entertainment industry has filled all of its, you know, because what great actors were we cheated out of just because they said, nah, I'm not going to do that and went back to their regular lives?
A lot.
We'll never know.
A lot.
Yeah.
And the other thing too, acting talent's not that rare.
Really?
It's not as rare as you think. Yeah, you think it's the kind of thing you only come across like, you know, one in every 10,000. It's like it's not really that uncommon. Like I've been in a lot of acting classes where I was like, wow, this entire class is good. And I'm a tough critic. So it's like, yeah, like they were good, like lots of talent. I mean, you spend all those years honing the craft. I mean, you're going to probably get some kind of results out of it. But that's the thing. That's why it's not marketable. You can't be so. Very few people are so good they're undeniable, and then therefore they get work. You know, like there's there's so much more to it, and it is a business. You know, you're not just this like bauble, and then someone just says yes, you. Like you have to be professional. You have to navigate relationships. You have to build things. You have to create your own stuff. There's so many angles to like the way you become like a noticeable actor. I don't even know how you would go about it today. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'd say go on Instagram. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I was just gonna say, if I remember correctly, when Clifton Duncan was on, I think he said that like Instagram following is not a huge factor, because if you already have a built-in fan base, I mean, shit, Batwoman only gets 300,000 people to watch it. So if you have 500,000 Instagram subs, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, well, if we put you in there, presumably some of these people will watch your TV show, so that gives it a better chance of staying on because of your following.
I would assume if you're a TikToker with like 200,000 subs and pretty good like viewing, you could get an agent like in a serious agency pretty easily, or at least a manager.
Yeah, and they would probably prefer you to a lot of other individuals because you have a little bit of a proven track record.
Yeah, and they build stars too, by the way. It's not, they don't just say, okay, you have all the credentials. Sometimes they say, okay, you've got potential. I know this acting coach. I'll get you working with him. We'll get you these headshots. Like they'll do the work for you if it's already, there's a reason for them to invest in you. But if you're nobody and you're just like, I'm talented, they're like, I don't even have time for you. I can't even, what am I supposed to do? How do I sell that? I need someone who's like, I can sell, and I can't sell you.
Yeah. And you guys are talking about pee sucking because since your dildo says, first off, you got to get close to Rogan, suck him off, and you're all set. I don't know if that's the right method, even though he is in Austin. So there you go.
Yeah, no. I'm not fucking anyone to get ahead in anything. To
Yeah.
climb up the YouTube chain.
Yeah.
Go give a few hand jobs in
gotta
where is this Silicon Valley, so they'll stop blocking my
suppressing.
channel growth. Yeah. Yeah,
Gotta finger bang Susan to get my channel restrictions gone.
Oof, wear gloves.
But yeah, I definitely would. I definitely did. No, just joking. Just start giving hand jobs to everyone on FNT so we can get shout outs.
I'll tell you, they're the only. Yeah, I mean, they're the ones that are like, geez, I feel guilty asking for anything else at this point.
Yeah, man. Half of FNT has been on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
Yeah, and I haven't been. I need to be more proactive. I keep saying we're going to get those other guys on. We will. We just have to coordinate the schedules and get them on. But I have put in no effort into guests, so that's on me as much as anything else. So
yeah, we do have to. We will have guests ever since we switched time slots. Hell, part of the time is just us being adjusted to the new time because I know, like, even today, I woke up like minutes before the show, like literally minutes. So yeah, that's a whole new thing, and yeah, we will have more guests.
Yeah, we will. We absolutely will. And like we've had verbal confirmations from people who we like and respect and said that they would do it. So Parrot Head says I could always pose as furniture again. Great point. Great point. Go. That's in my back pocket. That should be on my special skills on my resume. Furniture mimic.
You know what? We joke about that, but like somebody has that fetish for real. Like that's why it's a thing. Yeah. There must be somebody who has like a furniture fetish. Fitz Chozo wants to be a guest.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know Fitz Chozo at all. I mean, do you have a channel? I could take a look at your stuff.
He does have a channel, and he has a Indiegogo. I don't know why I got stream brain because he's trying to do a comic.
Yeah, if you want to send me your videos, man. I can't guarantee that I can get you on this show because with the whole model that me and Vig have sort of carved out for this show is that we want guests that are bigger than us to help promote it. You know what I mean? Because it's like we can just kind of stream with other YouTubers whenever we want, but that kind of only reaches a certain point of growth that like a wider audience would find interesting, Yeah. Like think about yourself. I mean, if you just you came across 4 YouTubers you didn't know, everyone had like 150 subs, you're going to be like, all right, I mean, maybe I'll give this a chance, but probably not.
And on top of it, like because of the cocktail lounge, we end up talking with so many of the YouTubers that like we would want to talk to, other like Culture and Mad and some of the other people, like other people who would like, oh yeah, we would like to talk to these guys. Well, we end up talking to them on Friday, so that ends up
and other streams and
other streams, So
trying to keep this one at least like in that vein as much as possible, just. Because, I don't know. I haven't figured out this whole YouTube game, and we definitely got to try to figure out how to grow, and develop the brand and hope other people get to appreciate our wonderful content.
Yeah. And, in saying that, I know, like, a lot of people joke about the damn, and Hail Jock Nerdy. A lot of people joke about us.
Nerdy.
And LDG of Geeks and Joy. Appreciate both of you guys showing up. But YouTubers can complain about YouTube too much. I say that as someone who does complain about YouTube too much and too much inside baseball and too much. I get that, right? But we do, we love you guys. We love you guys, and we want more you in here. We appreciate you guys, though. I don't want you to think like, oh yeah, just you guys are not good enough. We need more. It's like, no, you guys are awesome. You guys keep the show going. But we do want to grow. We are trying to grow, and we do want this show, at least with me, and I think Matt's the same. Like this show is the show, right? This is the show that's like our flagship. So it's we wanted, and hell, Captain Trek, another guy who I went on Captain Trek's channel when I was a smaller channel, and he helped me out. So yeah,
I mean, the more people we have on this, the more fans we have, the more sustainable this can be to the point where, okay, if we have more fans and more money coming in, then we can build this more and work harder on it and, do all kinds of stuff because we won't have to honor our other obligations as much. Yeah. So it's just a matter of the nature of the business. We just need more people to watch so that we continue to grow.
Yeah. And then Sheesh. And we can also get better guests because people like sometimes we get suggestions for like, oh, you should get this. Like somebody suggested Young Ripper. And I'm like, yes, I would love to have Young Ripper.
Oh my God.
I would kill to have Young Ripper.
Be
I don't
amazing.
know that he would ever like I think he seems like a nice enough guy, but like I don't know.
It's such a huge favor that you're asking because it provides him with nothing.
Nothing at all. His time is incredibly valuable. He would we are literally like when Gary came on, he cut his show short and then brought all his people on to our show. And so we literally like that was literally Gary saying, I am going to make less money for people, for other people's benefit, which he doesn't have to do. And again, is almost to his detriment, but he's a good guy and he did it. You can't ask that of everyone. You can't ask that. You can't expect that. No. And it was amazing that Gary did it. And thank you again if you ever watched the stream. And it's amazing everybody who's ever done a stream, from Chrissy to Tom to comics to everybody else. I mentioned Clifton, R&B, and Cameron Pasha. I think there's other guests that I met.
Dude, those 2 episodes, man. Like I mean, happy everybody. Like having Cameron Pasha and Cameron Pasha and R&B, I could have talked to for 4 hours.
Yeah, they were like back-to-back episodes, I believe.
Yeah,
very close
those
to
were
it.
Two very good episodes.
Yeah,
which you can get on Spotify and iTunes and all the podcast platforms. So make sure you do that. Give us a 5-star review, so on and so forth. Yada, yada, yada. You know the drill. Yeah. You know what it is, but we need you to do it. Need you to help out the culture crime fighters.
Yeah, and Clifton was a great guest. We've been blessed. We've had some really awesome guests. And then
some very generous people that
again, all of them took their time out of their days, and they could have been making money, they could have been making connections, they could have been doing something to expand their careers, and they came over with us. So
they came and wasted their time with this nonsense. So
yeah,
it was very cool. But yeah, so we do bitch about it a lot. We do talk about it a lot. It's it's part of just what we talk about. That's just part of Sentient Dildo's chiming up, says Clifton was a great guest.
He was. He was. All of our guests have been great.
Positive. So that must have really left an impact on Sentient Dildo if that's if he said something positive.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of those guests, I do definitely want to do another show with them. Definitely.
Oh, 100%. I'd love to have some people back. But same time, like I want to be very generous, judicious with when we ask.
Yes.
It's like, we still haven't built enough of an audience to offer them anything.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's another reason I want to build a bigger audience. And yes, since you did, that helps put our mind at ease. It's more normal.
Thank you for that. Makes me feel good.
But yeah, because I if anybody comes on this show just for, 20, 30 people to watch, as much as I love you guys, these because we're aiming big, that also means that they could be doing something else.
Yeah, we're basically just asking, hey, can we steal your audience?
Yes.
Can you just can you just bring your audience over here for a little while and just see if any of them like us?
Yeah.
That's kind of, you know what I mean? Like,
it's literally what we're doing.
I think Quarter Black will come on and stuff like that just because he wants to. We had a cool time in Vegas. He's chill. He's a fun, cool dude. So I feel like he would come on just to talk and have a conversation when it's, convenient for him. So I don't think he really gives a shit. But it's like I talked to Ryan Long at that comedy show a few weeks ago, and I mentioned him going on to FNT, and he's like, "What? I don't really need to." He's like, "It's not that I don't want to. It's like I don't need to. I go on the Nelk Boys, and I get a 50,000 or 10,000 boosts in my sub count and this, that, and the other." I still tried to make an argument for it with him, and I think he actually might do it one day.
Yeah.
But when you see it from his angle, you're like, okay. I was trying to come out with the angle that but these guys are loyal. They'll show up for everything. They're lifelong fans. They are the people who really give a shit. They're not just a sub. They're sub with weight.
Yeah. Which I agree with, because shit, some of our subs are those subs.
Yeah. Oh, all of our fans, for the most part, all of our fans are just intensely loyal. But I saw it from his angle too. There's only so much time you have. There's only so much you can give. You're not getting paid for these YouTube appearances. So is it worth it to me to spend 3 hours, 4 hours on a Friday when I could be working on my own videos that's going to get, 500,000 views or whatever on Monday? I get that angle on it too.
Yeah.
Parrot had asked if we had Mead on. Yes, we've had Tom on.
He was
We had
literally the very first guest, I believe. That was him.
First,
Number one?
yeah, but he's also a regular guest on the Cocktail Lounge every Friday.
Cocktail Lounge.
He's pretty much there every week.
Yeah.
He
And
fucking rules.
Yeah, Tom is awesome. Captain Trek filling the channel roles. Please give Captain Trek a sub. Since every time someone asked me to come on as a guest before, I said no, and now no one's interested. Oh boy. Channel needs big changes at a loss of what to do. Sheesh. I'm always trying to figure out what to do. I started to try to go
I don't know.
Daily. And I don't know if that helped at all. It did not help with the algorithm. I hope I'm not spamming guys. So I'm trying to find a balance on how much content to release. It's a goddamn battle with this algorithm, and I have no idea what to do. None
It's
whatsoever.
a few things. I mean, also remember, I don't know if you guys watch comedy podcasts, but I do. I'm a big fan of comedy podcasts. I watch them all the time. A lot of these guys have been comics for 10 years before you even heard about them. They put in 10 years of honing a craft before you even heard their name. And you know what I mean? Like they were known in their comedy circles or whatever, but they didn't have so when they have a podcast that has started to get traction, there's 10 years of work that went into the groundwork. We essentially just started.
Yeah.
Right?
Jeez.
I'm a little over a year in.
Yeah. Even Gary. 7 years, he said.
That's my point. It's a long haul. It's going to take a lot of time, and if you got to commit, and you got to innovate and come up with new ideas or new angles, and maybe something really interesting will come to you. I've been watching this podcast. I was telling Vig before it. It's called Are You Garbage? These two comics out of Philly. H. Foley and I can't remember the other guy's name. Kip, I think they call him Kip. And the whole podcast, the concept is they interview a comic and they have all these questions about their background, did you have a refrigerator in the garage? What kind of and they try to figure out your background. What's your SAT score? They try to eventually just come up with a verdict of are you garbage? And that's the whole concept. And that's an interesting angle. That's a clever show idea, and you do it every week, and it's that's innovative. That's something different. It's not just two guys talking about a subject. It's okay, I know what I'm getting myself into. It's well branded. It's a clever idea. It's interesting. We also need to innovate as much as anything else. We need to come up with an angle and keep pushing and get creative, and that's really, I don't know, what else can we do?
Yeah, besides do it. Ascension Dildo, the 10,000 hours to become great at something.
Yeah,
takes time. I'm just getting back in the guitar and trying to practice that on a regular basis, and I suck so bad. And you hear all these people that are awesome, and it's God, it's gonna take a while for me to get even as decent as I was, and I suck. Still, it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a long time. And we can only talk about pig people and Donald Rumsfeld as a lizard person so much. We need something that actually that people want to listen to.
Yeah.
And got to stand out so much. It's so much content, so much good content. There is really, really good content.
So much.
So yeah.
And you got to stay grateful too. You got to stay humble. The fact that anyone here watching us right now is still an accomplishment. It's still something to be grateful for, because it's dude, there was almost a year, where it's no one streaming to absolutely nobody, no views. If my video had 25 views, I was this one's pretty hot.
Well, actually, that's kind of where I am now with videos. But yeah. But it is like that. And I mean, shit, I would get 3 views, and holy shit, there's 3 views. So
and that was it, and that's what it is. It's that's okay. This is the journey.
And you guys are awesome. You guys are a part of that journey. You're coming with us, whether you want to or not. Because you guys have showed up. We switched times. You guys still showed up. You say, you know what? I'm gonna. It was about time to get out of here in a second.
Yeah.
But you guys showed up. You guys are a part of the show. And thank you guys for supporting us. You guys will show up on Friday on the MFer. A lot of you guys show up during the week on my streams, or you show up on Matt's videos, or you show up wherever. So thank you for being a part of this journey that we're on. I mean, we owe everything to you, because without you guys, there is no show. If you guys were not entertained, there would be no one here. And so thank you for being here. And Killer Child gave us a you're welcome.
Yeah. Well, I mean it. It's like
yeah, because genuinely, thank you.
Yeah, and we've even gotten some money out of it too, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
it's a cool thing. I think we do bitch about it a little bit because it does feel like it's something you can't control.
Yeah.
Like I can control how hard I work at this. I can control how many videos I put out or how many broadcasts. But if there's someone at YouTube manually unsubbing people from me every day, that really starts to get you down. Where you're just like, God damn it! Like I feel like I should be accruing more subs, and I'm just not. And there's no other explanation other than people every day are like, nah. Like
Yeah.
I don't really think that happens that more. Since you did last time, I'm doing the Expanse vids. I am going to pick them up. I've had a lot of personal stuff going on recently that's been like consuming everything in my life, and so I'm trying to compartmentalize a little bit better and not kind of get bogged down with day-to-day bullshit. And I make more of a commitment to be on this platform, putting out more routine content, the Expanse type stuff, like more videos, things like that. So I am gonna go back and do those. I just have been in a bunch of shit recently. So
Yeah.
Milou? Is that the word? Is that the word I'm trying to think of? That French word?
I don't know if I know that word. And Zach, to this point, this is kind of how I grew my channel, was guesting, and I haven't been able to because of work guest as much. But that was like a lot of you got here because you saw me on either Culture Casino show, or you saw me on Yelling at Parked Cars, or whatever.
Or Gary
you saw me on
brought
Matt's
you
show,
over.
or Gary, or whatever. A lot of
whatever.
people, because I streamed with a lot, or Wes Moody, I used to stream with that. I think it's our Wookiee Supremacy guy here.
Such a dildo, nailed it.
Time consuming, probably must be a whammon.
Bingo. Well done.
Yeah, that's how those things can be.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, man. It's been about 2 hours. Do you want to get out of here? Do you have anything else you want to bring up?
No, I got nothing else. I got to get out of here. I got to go pick my mom up at the airport.
Yeah.
So I'm cool. Thank you everyone for hanging. Much appreciated, for real. If you guys can give this video a share, let people know about it. If you think there's someone in your life that would enjoy our show, please let them know, because like we said, promotion is difficult, and any little bit helps. So thank you so much for watching, and if you can get on iTunes and give a 5-star review to the podcast, hopefully some more people will check it out.
Yes.
I'm done begging, though.
Yeah.
For today.
Yeah. Sharing is caring. Please share the gift. It's not a holiday season. Share the gift of the Culture Crime Fighters with us. So I appreciate everybody here.
Yeah.
I will talk to you guys later. Peace.
See ya.